Says we're live. Are we live? Welcome to Unmuzzled Chat. Bear with me just one quick brief moment here because let's see here. We need to kick off the Instagram live. Let's see if it works. Well, it looks like it worked. Technology, man. I tell you, it's only good when it stinking works. And it was pretty frustrating for me to see that the latest episode... What was it? Was it our latest episode? Let's take a look here. Oh my gosh. Computers. Yeah, it was the latest episode that unfortunately all the screen shares, the audio didn't kick in. So I've ran tons of trials, runs, edits, and I can't figure it out. So I had to turn off an echo setting, which is messed with volume levels and things like that. So I believe StreamYard changed up some of their services and how it operates. I don't know how all the settings were set, and it changed. And it's been a nightmare to figure out. And it doesn't seem as though I have anyone viewing right now. Let me... We had one a second ago. But it would be nice to get some engagement. Whether you're joining live and you're dropping comments in the chat and chatting with others as they come in, that is momentum. That is important to do. Or just commenting quickly on an episode. If you felt as though something we covered was important or unimportant or correct or incorrect, there's a level of involvement from all of us to secure our future. Period. The end. I don't know why we've just handed it over and expected things to not be corrupted. It really does blow my mind. What else did we expect? By the way, I'm not trying to look cool today with the camos. I was out chasing bucks this morning. I'm exhausted. And maybe that's why I'm so testy and so frustrated, is lack of sleep. And I had a friend recently come up and we were just running like wild. It was his first time, so I really wanted to do my best to get him on some game. And it is kind of beside the point, but there's something important to this. For those that are, let's say, even anti-hunting, my question to them are, do you eat meat? Because we are so far removed from our food. That's what I believe has even led us to be poisoned to the extent we have been, because we haven't been involved in part of the process of acquiring food, processing food. We get it already pretty well processed or even cooked for the most part nowadays. And there's something beautiful about that experience. There's something spiritual about that experience, and emotional even. And when you eat that meat, I mean, not only is it the most nutritional substance, like meat-wise, you'll get, because it's just naturally grazing. It's not being fed poisons or getting poisonous shots, things of that nature. I mean, the whole process is awesome. And then not just that, the environmentalists and whatnot, they so many don't even get it. Hunting itself funds so much like conservation and an animal habitat and wildlife and in ecosystems to the beautiful lands we have in this beautiful country we inhabit and planet we inhabit. Like, what happened some years back to Cecil the lion was, in fact, very detrimental and devastating to the ecosystem of the wildlife in Africa and also the townsfolk. It was horrific, the backlash, and it led to the slaughtering of a lot of animals being overpopulated and running rampant. So there's, just like anything, we all should humble ourselves and genuinely look into, just like in a relationship, in a fight or something, you really ought to look into, to really seek remedy, to really seek understanding, and the best path out of this. You got to hear both sides, and you got to look into it. You got to do your due diligence. So, lots to cover there. In fact, I'd love to dive more in on the hunts and have people talk about, because this is something more than just passion about, but I feel everyone has a lot to learn by being a part of the processing of an animal. And I'm grateful for the experience. Hey, if you're here, let me know if you're hearing me. Give me a thumbs up if I'm coming through clear. And if I could get someone engaged in that, since I've been running into technical issues, I would like to play a clip on a screen share and make sure that the volume comes through on the screen share. Because I ran all the tests. I finally, it's recording and it's getting captured. I just want to verify that you can hear it. So it's interesting. I just had a chat with a friend just the other day, and it was brought, we started we're talking about the podcast, we're talking about the mission, we're talking about the financial burdens of this journey. We're almost going on a year. In October 22nd will be a year on this podcast, and it's been nothing but investing every penny that has come in, which has been minuscule. I've really going into debt just to keep the lights on. But that's why I wanted to title War is being waged on all of us. Is there a better way to fight back? I am genuinely seeking from the Unmuzzled chat family or army, what is the best way to fight back? Tell me. I'll do it. I am open to all things. Within my skill set, within my abilities, and obviously I was willing to learn a lot here. If there is something more effective that is going to secure our future and outcome and less suffering for other individuals, I will drop what I'm doing and go do that. I just see how evil's so effective with this digital space. How it not just, and we're going to go over some things that will really emphasize the power of media, that war machine, controlled media, and all the censorship, the infringement on our speech, the shadow banning, the banning, and what that led to in the outcomes. So I'm doing my best to fight on behalf of free speech on all these topics and just move move things in the right direction. Help me. I mean, so drop comments if you feel there's a more effective way for me to apply whatever skill sets and gifts I have. Let me know. I'm just striving for maximum outcome. Okay. Why is I'm having a day, I'm telling you. But I need to take a breath and express gratitude to you, to all the listeners that do get it. I know some of our listeners just aren't in a financial position to help fund what I'm doing here, but they've been as proactive as they can to share the reality of this war that's being waged. There's more we must hold ourselves accountable for and getting more engaged. Otherwise, we're just rolling the dice on the outcome. We got to think of like warfare we understand even. But war's being waged on the hearts and minds and bodies of all of us and our children, our loved ones. And we'll lose. We'll lose in this life if not show up. More scarily to me by showing up. It's like, might we not find or fulfill our purpose? Because after all, we were put in this very specific time, right here, right now. So I just hope and pray we all seize this moment in time. Oh, I'm really on one. I'm going to try to be unmuzzled, but I do have a lot of gratitude. It has been amazing to be out here in nature and connecting with our Creator. I have been running myself rugged, and I was successful on a hunt the other day, and that's why I've kind of been MIA for the last couple days. So I apologize for not being there, but the reality of like this podcast, it has been all consuming, and I've been at it since October 22nd. You could look at the sheer amount of episodes that have been created, and it's been a full-time job. I've rarely had days off. So it's been a blessing, but I have, even with taking time off, just a little brief bit, I have a level of guilt because it's like, well, not even guilt, because I know we all need to balance things in this life. And I'm trying to connect with God out here on like these hunts and such too, because I know He's creator of all that. And it just feels, you know what I'm talking about when you're out in nature versus in the city. You just can connect with them. And it's a beautiful thing. Okay, I'm kind of getting beside the point, but as I'm tuning back in and catching up on some things, I'm so far past, like, enough is enough. When are we going to really set things down and show up in the ways that matter, that are going to have the desired impacts and outcomes? Because suffering, it's so bad. Evil is so effective in this world we live in. And why are not more God-fearing, just good-hearted folks doing anything about it? I'm right there with you. So I'm trying to help bridge that gap with this by, putting in legwork, help wake up the sleeping people, Golly, there's just a lot. Let's go ahead and dive in a bit. Someone let me know. Let's just verify, please, that you can hear this. Okay. So I'm just going to do entire screen share right up here. Let's go ahead and play this clip. Someone let me know whether you can hear this.
Let me ask you this about Big Pharma, and this is about vaccines. You say that the government regulators have been bought off by Big Pharma. I think that's what you're saying when you say that this entanglement has occurred. You said agency employees are actually getting royalties, getting payments on vaccines and drugs that they approve. Is that true?
Yes, there's a couple things happening. For example, the Moderna vaccine. NIH owns half of that vaccine, 50%. So the billions of dollars that vaccine makes, half of that goes to NIH, the agency, but there's also individuals, at least 4, maybe 6 individuals who work for NIH who are high-level deputies under Anthony Fauci who get to collect $150,000 a year forever, not just for their lives, but their children. As long as that mRNA technology is on the market, they're going to be making money from it.
Okay,
that is a conflict.
Hang on a minute now, because I don't want to blow by this too fast. So the National Institute of Health is getting a kickback, a bribe, a royalty, a share, whatever you want to call it. Is this not a clear conflict of interest?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what you're pointing out, right?
Yeah, it is. People are shocked.
Why are you the only one talking about this?
If you talk about this kind of thing, you get censored on YouTube. You will not be allowed on the mainstream media to talk about these issues. It used to be that you could, and nowadays you cannot. With FDA, about 50% of FDA's budget comes from regulated industries, so mainly the pharmaceutical
Unbelievable.
industries. You have agency capture on steroids. The principal objective of FDA today is to serve the mercantile interests of pharmaceutical companies.
Oh, my gosh.
And that's why you see FDA not only approving all of these drugs that shouldn't be approved,
right,
but they also are, out to destroy things that are actually shown to be good for you, that do not make profits for the pharmaceutical companies.
All right, so it's so backwards. Obviously, we can see all the corruption. So many of you are in the know, but so many aren't. People are still getting these shots. My freaking goodness, I got a message on my personal phone. I should have screenshotted it and had it up, but it just hit me now. Just the other day about don't get sick. Come get your flu/COVID jab. They are still pushing this bioweapon jab that is killing millions of people across the globe. Why are we sitting back and accepting this? And it is starting to really piss me off because my heart goes out to those I don't even know. But when I see it within individuals, within my own family, that now are suffering and have died, and others now are on their deathbed, and I know for a fact this shot is having an impact. Now, can I definitively say, you know what? Yeah, I can. It's killing my loved ones. Not all that have gotten it, it seems, but we don't know. It's experimental. Give it time. Let's go ahead and stop this for a sec. But as I'm communicating with more people on these topics, especially our elders, like our grandparents, it seems to be shortening their lifespans, and the time they are having minimized with us is significantly significantly increased their suffering. And there's it I know there's it's like it's a touchy subject now, especially at death, because there literally were family members that advocated on behalf. Heck, I know a friend that vividly told me specifically that their siblings mandated, hey, to their grandparents, if you want to see your grandchildren, you're going to go get that shot. And that was in the height of COVID. And they all went and got it. This particular family, now all four of their loved ones, their grandparents, are no longer with us. And they're distraught because even the other family members advocated for the grandparents to get it. Of course, they're so wrapped up in this world. They're more about even acquiring the things than addressing, I may have influenced something that led to more suffering and death of my loved one. It is unbelievable. Now, everyone's situation is different, but we cannot sweep it under the rug. We must acknowledge it. And when it comes to my loved ones, life here and celebration of life or whatnot, I'm going to be unmuzzled. Am I going to be going there casting stones? No. But I'm going to speak the truth, and that we are not to be fooled by evil and duped. And when we make the connections as to the companies for profit and then also other individuals, there's layers to this. And I get it's hard to prove intent. But when you look at the patents, when you look at these individuals talking about Depop, they just want control. That's what it boils down to. They want control. They want a sustainable amount of individuals where they could reign supreme and their positions not be threatened. That's what it boils down to. And then that's why they're spinning off all sorts of hoaxes. Climate hoaxes. I mean, it is so clear to me. It is so clear. And it's biblical and it's spiritual warfare. And these individuals at the root of it are evil. Evil. Now, for certain folks in our lives, it's like I feel Christians are turning the cheek even too much. For the lost sheep, you pray for them. You can turn the other cheek. But for individuals that are doing evil deeds, I feel biblically, when it leads to pain, suffering, and death, God was pleased when David took out Goliath. He was pleased. We can't allow these tyrannical, evil individuals to continue to hold the keys to our lives, and you can see the direction they're trying to go with it. All right, let's see. Yes, the audio works. Thank you. Sorry, I just now noticed. Wildly exuberant. Thank you. I'm trying to compose myself here a bit. I'm worked up because what is what is. we must learn our lessons here, and it's most important that we draw near and fulfill our purpose, but draw near to our Creator. But my goodness, we are put in this time, and we best show up and do what we can regarding this war. It's nothing shy. This is the most horrific war that has ever been at this point, with how it's infiltrated on a global scale. And so many aren't even willing to acknowledge it as that. Well, let's just dive into more of the receipts regarding the pandemic. Okay. Put that, I mean, it's not even entirely just a pandemic, but all vaccines. Go ahead and we've played not this lady, but the clip she's about to play before. But let's go ahead and dive in.
If you are questioning you-know-whats, or there's worries surrounding
vaccines,
your children's wellness visits, you need to watch this next video.
Recently, we've been looking at aluminum, which is common to many vaccines. It's used as an adjuvant.
Very common.
Helper. Without the aluminum, the vaccine basically does not provide any long-term protection. And so my research has looked at injectable aluminum and how it might impact the nervous system. The difference between injectable aluminum versus dietary aluminum is that aluminum that you eat is excreted fairly rapidly. Injectable aluminum, however, is meant to stick around. And that's precisely why it's there in the first place. That's what an adjuvant does. So we simply did the really simple experiment of taking the same stuff out of the vaccines, the aluminum hydroxide, and injecting it into mice, into the muscles, to see what would happen if we tried to mimic the vaccine schedule. We were quite surprised to see how rapidly the behavioral symptoms emerged. They showed not only behavioral deficits of motor function, but they ultimately showed cognitive deficits as well. And once we sacrificed the animals and started looking inside their brains and spinal cords, we found massive damage to motor neurons. And so we may be creating the conditions for Parkinson's disease, Lou Gehrig's disease, Alzheimer's disease. Maybe not immediately, but maybe 20, 30, 40 years down.
Brain damage. Brain damage. What are we doing? All vaccines. See right here. Boom. Pay it forward. The information / data is out, and it's horrific. Oh my gosh, it just goes on and on. But this is a radiologist. Oh my gosh. I can't even speak. What am I doing here? I can't even speak. Cancer researcher. I mean, there's all sorts of doctors coming out with this information. And I forget the word for it, but a complete like moratorium or whatever. They want to. We got to start from scratch, y'all. 100%. And stop poisoning our kids. Just because the way society is structured and everyone's doing it, so everyone jumps off a cliff, you're going to jump off? What are we doing?
Stop taking the injections, no mRNA vaccines, no COVID vaccines, no flu vaccines. And, I have to agree with Dr. Peter McCullough on basically childhood vaccines.
Yeah.
You should probably
We've played it.
Avoid altogether.
Okay.
We need a complete reset of the entire area of vaccines. We got to scrap the vaccine schedule, the childhood
100%.
vaccine schedule, start from
Scratch
scratch
it.
now. We need a complete reset.
Yes.
In medicine and science, get the corruption out first.
Yes.
Then we can, think about sort of rebuilding.
Right.
So that's key. Just stop all of the injections. Stop taking the injections. No mRNA vaccines. No.
Guys, I'm genuinely I'm on one today. I'm genuinely frustrated. This has been a lot of work. I want to ask the Unmuzzled chat family, what else can I do that is more effective than what I'm trying to do here? What can I do? Let me know, and I'll do it. trying to magnify everyone's voice. For frick's sakes, I've exposed the bioweapon that I've experienced within my body. Lyme disease was created in a lab dating back to the Cold War. That's old school biowarfare. These freaks are continually playing God, trying to come up with more and more creative ways. I mean, golly, it just goes on and on. I mean, look at it. This is... Can you recognize that face? It's Fauci. What are they doing? Playing God to where they got to protect themselves in a suit such as this. They're literally creating things and profiting. They're creating problems for us and then creating semi-solutions, not real solutions. And they're dumbing us down. They're limiting... I mean, right there, the aluminum is impacting it's brain damage. And it leads to Alzheimer's and all sorts of issues. And the thing is, it's not just in the jab, folks. It's, oh man, I had her pulled up and of course the window's shut down. But it's, it's what they're spraying in our freaking skies, folks. It's no joke.
I would not intentionally spray my children or family with toxic aerosols, but as you must know, 80% or better do not have any family or children. Indigo pilots are chosen from...
By the way, this is from a whistleblower.
From the top ranks within the Air Force, Navy, and Coast Guard. Most of the pilots are, quote, hardened to humanity, unquote, and could care less about killing off unwanted or leeching aspects of America and the world. I swear to you, the majority of the pilots are like machines. I call them tanker terminators. We are paid more than any other pilot for our service.
Wow.
Other than Air Force One pilots who make as much or more and are kept in a dark secret world for their own protection.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's a natural contrail right there, folks. I don't know. I guess I'm just a Looney Tune. Look at that.
62 Mark Faraday. South to 204 Charlie Whiskey 390.
I'm jumping all over the place today. Frankly, I don't care. What are we doing? What does our job matter when we're being poisoned? What does our job and everything we're trying to gain within this life when we're visiting anyways, when there's a corrupt cabal infiltrated this country and there's a two-tiered system? What are we doing? This is the power of the machine they built. How much more proof do the sleeping need? Let's go. And these are actual posts from CNN. Elizabeth Cohen. President Trump is wrong in so many ways about hydroxychloroquine studies. Here are the facts. And they were just tearing it apart. And then fast forward. And of course, there's no apology here. There's no accountability. It's a hierarchy. It's a two-tiered system. They are working for their slave masters. They, in fact, are part of the snake. And this is the snake's plan. But to somehow gain some type of trust, I guess, within, I don't know, the old timers or anyone, like, oh, now study finds hydroxychloroquine helped coronavirus patients survive better. It's like, see, that alone, just this substance, we wouldn't have had any EAU shot, bioweapon jab, or ivermectin. We had genuine solutions. And there was no FDA-approved vaccine that rolled out. They did this all switcheroo. I can't believe how effective this machine was. It truly blows my mind. Never forget. Yet they pressured, manipulated, lied, bribed, threatened all of us. Time for extreme accountability. This was a leaked video of Mark Zuckerberg from one of his staffers regarding the shot. We played it way back, but for some reason we gotta absorb, because they didn't tell us, they didn't warn us. We were bribed, pressured, manipulated, lied, everything.
I share some caution on this because we just don't know the long-term side effects of basically modifying people's DNA and RNA to directly encode in a person's DNA and RNA, basically the ability to produce those antibodies, and whether that causes other mutations or other risks downstream. So I share.
Yet he was behind censoring and banning so much of the truthful life-saving information and the adverse effects. To this day, they're still censoring. YouTube, same thing. TikTok, same thing. We all have an uphill battle. We must migrate and blow up free speech platforms. We could help decipher the trustworthy sources through those sites. I'm trying to do my best to be one. We need more engagement to really become effective. It is clear I need a tech guru, so I'm not spending all the time on the technical side of it, and I'm able to spend more time on the information and the searching. This is an incredible, not just time suck, it is beyond a full-time job. Beyond. And it's very difficult. That being said, in order to really continue on this path, I mean, if there's something better, once again, I'll do it. But if not, then I genuinely need some funds. Support this podcast. You could go to the description. You could donate $5 right there on Venmo, Cash App, the GoFundMe. Every little bit would go a long ways. And with that, I assure you, every dollar is going to be going back in to fighting this war. It is, I can't imagine doing anything else. So kind of rewinding back a bit on the discussion I was having with my friend, and they're like, well, consider going back. I mean, I was a really good contractor, swinging hammer, building homes. But that's selfish. Yeah, I'm going to go back to building homes when war's being waged on, like, and not do what I can to secure our future. I'll go into debt. I'll lose everything. It doesn't matter. I got to do what I can do within my ability to secure that future. Otherwise, what does all that matter? And too many people are just playing along with tyrannical businesses they work for. And what's crazy, like, you could go about it in a strategic way by getting enough colleagues, not just solo. You know, you're easily replaceable for these big companies, right? But you get big groups of you together and you start reaching up to the higher ups and the CEOs and ramping up the pressure. We can shift all of them or migrate to companies that support all the freedoms, everything. And on that note, we're gonna jump over here. Go back to the screen share. Robbie Starbuck, what a blessing this man is. He's been doing so much with the woke companies, fighting back on the shenanigans. But what this exposes, he's turned this into his job. And he's doing well with it. But he's having really big impact. But we could see, we cannot discredit our voice, our clicks, our likes, our dollar bills, and standing up. We could change these companies. So anyway, let's go ahead and play this.
I got great news for you. We have another company that we were set to expose, Lowe's. However,
wow.
I sent a message to Lowe's last week, and I woke up to something really interesting in my email inbox. It looks like we don't even need to do these videos exposing these companies anymore, at least not every company, because many of them are willing to just change their policies as soon as I reach out now. That is the power of you guys. You guys are the reason for what I'm about to show you. First, let me show you the email I sent them last week. I said, hi, just formally wanted to inform Lowe's Corporate that we do plan to expose Lowe's DEI policies, practices, and propaganda in a future story. We have 2 projects in front of Lowe's, but please let your fellow executives know that I reached out. I'd like to know if Lowe's has any plans to cut these ridiculous policies. DEI should never dictate hiring, bonuses, sponsorships, etc.
Right.
And participation in the HRC's woke CEI scoring is something Lowe's customers deserve to know about. ERGs based on the sex people prefer to have seems wildly inappropriate to the average Lowe's customer, bordering on sexual harassment, as does funding pride events and transitions via healthcare policy. Does Lowe's have a comment on this? And get ready, because this is my favorite part. Also, Lowe's has their DEI department to thank for all of this focus on their policies.
Wow.
Their folks pushing DEI at Lowe's looked at my LinkedIn page on the same day, which piqued my curiosity. Without them, I wouldn't have thought to look at Lowe's right now. Very foolish of them. But I'm guessing by now, foolishness from the people pushing DEI at Lowe's is not a shocker to Lowe's executives. And what do you know? I sent those messages last week, and this morning I woke up to an email from Lowe's executives about changing policies. So what policies are changing? Lowe's will no longer be participating in the HRC's woke Corporate Equality Index social credit scoring system. Lowe's is also getting rid of their individual ERG groups that separates people across identity politics lines by what kind of sex they like or what color they are. Now Lowe's employees will all be under one umbrella ERG, not separated on identity lines based on what kind of sex they like or what color they are. And if you look at this part, Lowe's is also promising no more donations to pride festivals, pride parades, or anything that's a divisive thing outside of these core 3 areas that they have identified as important to their business. And those 3 areas make sense. They're community improvement, disaster relief, and skilled trades education. You know, things actually associated with Lowe's business. I like this part below in the email where they talk about merit, because we're seeing a $150 billion company change on a dime and embrace merit instead of the equity policies that have been pushed in the past. I'm going to be putting the full text of the email in the caption on X so you can read the email they sent out this morning and judge for yourself, but we are making massive change, and it is thanks to you, especially to those of you who subscribe to me on X for $5 a month. It helps pay for our researchers. We have so many whistleblowers, it isn't.
Is that what I need to do? Subscribe to me on X for $5 so I could get researchers, tech people, and really ramp things up. I'll have to double check, but I'm pretty confident not $1 has come in from Venmo, Cash App. I had one donation on the buy me a coffee, but you could tell me there's better things out there to subscribe to right now. You gotta iron things out. That's helping me. That's giving me good feedback and just trying to make Yeah, things haven't froze. The signal's fine, I assure you. I'm just kind of hitting my wall today. But it's great to see this happening. Robbie's doing a great job. Am I seeing enough movement from the American people? No. There's more we could do. And I just hope and pray that we can influence more of that. And I'm grateful for all of you that grasp that from day one. Thank you.
And saying we need more help, and your money subscribing helps pay for that help so that we can expose these woke companies and get real change. We are going to bring sanity back. Lowe's says there could be other future changes, and there should be. They should eliminate their DEI team in total. The people who took Lowe's woke deserve to go, but I commend the executives for making these changes now instead of embarrassing their company. Other companies should do the same thing. Last thing, this image going around is fake. This is not a real quote from the CEO. So who's next?
Man, he does a good job, doesn't he?
I got great news.
Small screen. There were other things. So we hit that headline. Zuckerberg, freaking Fauci. Come on, guys. What they're doing, it is not good. So here's a doctor. If I had vaccinated the 6,000 patients I treated for COVID, I would have made $1,500,000. And it's an actual... You just have to check the links, see it for yourself. How they were incentivized. It's insanity what they built out. The number of vaccines that a child received before the age of 5 has increased dramatically. In 1983, a child following the CDC's recommended schedule would have received only 5 vaccines by the age of 5. 2024, by the age of 5, 38 vaccines. Unbelievable. It's closer to 80 by 18. None of these are good. They all need to go. The cold and flu shot mixed in with the COVID shot has to go. Guys, if we don't get ahead of this with exactly this and stop poisoning our children through needles and stop the spraying of the skies and stop them from poisoning our freaking food, we don't have a chance. We're already the obesity problem that we were touching on with children and adults and all these epidemics of just illness and disease in this country, and life expectancy dramatically dropping. Even we're not keeping up. We wouldn't be, if there wasn't an invasion happening, the population of this country would be tanking due to infertility alone. So here's some food for thought. 4 people give a restaurant a bad review and you look for a different place to eat. Now this number is way bigger than this, but just we'll run with this. In fact, is that 2,602,082 reports of people, just big number, reports of people who say the vaccine injured them, and you take your child to more. I love it. People are so creative. I love it. This should hit home. Oh my gosh. It is pouring out there. I got my truck windows down. We'll get into a clip. It'll live, but I'll have to jump out in a sec. But think on that. The power of the media and censorship and fear porn. Even knowing better, like having a gut instinct, having the ability to look at information, but so many ran on the talking points. And to this day, family members won't recognize I messed up. I may have shortened my loved one's life by creating this mandate to see my kids. Unbelievable. We gotta open the eyes of the sleeping folks. We gotta get information like this out. This should, if there's any rational thinking left within these individuals, it's just an image like that. Think on that. It's like, you know the ingredients in the Cheerios you feed your child more so than any ingredients in that shot, and you're willing, just because they're saying, it's insanity, folks. You know, let's play this. I'm going to be right back. And there's no sound. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. I'll be right back. Oh, it's hailing. And those are big rain droplets. Cut me some slack today. I am exhausted. I've been running a little rugged out here lately. Felt like I was ready to go, but I ran into so many technical difficulties. But as you can see here, what's playing, don't be duped. Don't allow their hoax right here. Evolution is a hoax. Don't let it keep you from our loving creator. I know the Bible's true. I felt God's love for me and all of us, and then it was just a taste, and it was like enough for my lifetime. But he keeps showing up in a lot of ways in my life. And I just feel if more people connected into that love and understanding, even to that degree, more would want to live more meaningful, purposeful lives that would bless others and minimize suffering and secure a future. There's so many here that are engaged in devil worship and on the demonic side and the materialistic gain of this existence. And they've chosen their father, and they'll more than likely be living it up in this life. But this is just a bleep in time. Just think back on all those generations of people that felt that. In my eyes, it's irrelevant as to what comes next. What what Jesus did and paved the way for us, it's paramount. It's everything. We got to stop all this poisoning. I think I switched things up so much. This was such a scrambled episode. I apologize. I got scrambled myself. I wanted to end on a positive note, but the simple fact what's being done here, it really should light the fire that we all have a voice. We all could have an impact. And I don't mean to be a Debbie Downer and be ripping into people, but it is so crucial we stand for truth. And we could lay our intentions out on the line, come what may, but not be fearful of standing on the bedrock of truth. And never again are we to be duped. I'm going to do my best to pull family members into the fold, like distant and whatnot, when it comes to funeral arrangements, and hopefully we'll seize the moment together. But if they want to react negatively to the truth of the situation, that is their choice. And that's not going to... It'll impact. I mean, I'm human. It'll have an impact, but I'm going to do my best to just keep on trucking. Holy smokes. Am I just rambling? I freaking love you guys. Thank you so much. Clearly, I'm rusty. I got a lot to work out, a lot to improve upon. Give me time. I'll get there. Or someone will come up with a better solution and I'll head down a better, more impactful path. I genuinely don't know what else I could do that would lead to potentially more impact than this. And by having other very gifted people on. That being said, let's dive into the Jesus' calling. Let's seek direction. Oh, I thought it was the 28th. It's the 27th. I apologize. Don't eat my word. Get in the Bible. Seek God's will. He will not let you down. He will not lead you astray. Relationship with God over any religion. Mankind will get it wrong. We'll get it wrong. But through the grace of God and the sacrifice through Jesus, there is a narrow path. And it's like I slip off of it a lot, but I'm fighting tooth and nail to stay on that path. I'm grateful for this experience because it has also strengthened my relation with the Creator and my resolve. Like, that is the only direction that matters in this life. The only. Grateful to do what I can. I love you guys. 27th reads, spend time with me. For the pure... I'm having a hard time reading today. My eyes are wigging and my brain. God help me. Spend time with me. For the pure pleasure of being in my company, I can brighten up the dullest of gray days. I can add sparkle to the routines of daily life. You have to repeat so many tasks day after day. This monotony just can I laugh at myself? Can dull your thinking until your mind slips into neutral. A mind that is unfocused is vulnerable to the world, the flesh, and the devil, all of which exert a downward pull on your thoughts. I must admit, it's done that. I can't shoulder the burden of everything going on in this world today. I need to hand it over to God and just do my part. Be excited. Sorry, I'm just kind of speaking freely here. I don't know what I'm finding it. As your thinking process deteriorate. As your thinking processes deteriorate, you become increasingly confused and directionless. The best remedy is to focus your mind and heart on me, your constant companion. Even the most confusing days open up before you as you go step by step with me. My presence goes with you wherever you go, providing light for your path. Psalm 63:7 through 8. Psalm 119, 105. I'm grateful for that. I needed that. Now, in kind of just these topics, there were a couple things that jumped out at me for today. And I want to give some biblical references so we could start looking into accountability, personal accountability from God's roadmap for us. Some of the briefs read, God will judge our work. 2 Corinthians 19:5 and 10. Sin has consequences. Ezekiel 18:20. God will hold us accountable for our sin. Ezekiel 18:30. We are accountable for every word that we speak. Matthew 12:36. Confronting others with their sins should be done in private. Matthew 18:15. We should hold each other accountable. Luke 17:3. We are accountable for what we believe. John 3:18. God holds Christians accountable. Romans 14:11 through 12. God will reward Christians for their good deeds. 1 Corinthians 3:8. God will examine our actions. 2 Corinthians 5:10. Another one that jumped out at me today, pretty hardcore, was laziness. And I don't want you to just think the laziness of lack of action sitting on a couch. The laziness and not doing our proper research. The laziness and not being fearful. So, like, you're lazy about the interactions and engaging in this freaking war in our lives. What we could do positively each and every day. Let's freaking go, folks. Enough is enough. What else do we need to cover? There's so much we've blasted through and so much more to come. Laziness can ruin you. Proverbs 6 through 11. Laziness can make you poor. Proverbs 10:4-5. Lazy people work for others. Proverbs 12:24. Wow. Let that one sink in. Why work for others? I have a whole bunch of trains of thoughts on that one, especially regarding this war. Lazy people make excuses. You can see that on so many of these talking points. Proverbs 22:13. Lazy people oversleep. Proverbs 26:14. Encourage lazy people to work. 1 Thessalonians 5:14. I know I said that funny. Lazy people should not be allowed to be freeloaders. 2 Thessalonians 3:10. What a great book. Thank you, God. I love you and appreciate you. Sorry for all my defects, sinful ways. sour tongue, even my subconscious, and in some of my deeds and actions. I'm seeking refinement to become most effective and more positively impactful. And I know we can help each other achieve that kind of walk more so together than alone. Let's engage, let's create the momentum through shares, likes, comments. You want to come on here, share some thoughts, email me, unmuzzledchat@gmail.com. Would love to have you on, get things scheduled out. Let's plug some of our affiliations. I'm very grateful to have at this point. There's minimal benefit to me, but I know in supporting these companies, it is helping shift the trajectory we're so greatly needing in this country, such as Patriot Mobile. Why fund BlackRock owned tyrannical, infringing on your speech, like whether you know it or your privacy, and support the only Christian conservative mobile network out there. Check out everything they're engaged in right there on their website. Click the link below, follow the prompts. If you call them, just mention Unmuzzled. They will take care of you, waive fees, everything. I believe they even now have a special phone device that completely disconnects. You could ask about that. So up in the privacy to where they can't listen. It actually disconnects the battery. It's pretty cool. Did we lag with the storm? Even though I got a really good satellite spot? I apologize. But anyway, more to look into there. I'm grateful for American Reserves. We're still on a trial phase. It doesn't seem like many of our listeners, maybe we're already all stocked up. Maybe that's what it is. But 30 days is like a bare minimum. I'd venture to say everyone should have 60 days of food storage for every single family member and the means to transport it. So check out American Reserves. Just punch in Unmuzzled. Unmuzzled will get you an additional 10% off any other discounts you come across. So input that as well. But the ability to transport it means come an EMP threat, if they want to really shut down communication. If you haven't ordered an EMP shield product for your vehicle, like there's not a better investment I've made than getting one of those on my vehicle. I'm going to be getting one on this very camper soon enough. I have one on my home even. Because on the back end, considering what it's protecting dollar for dollar, it's literally a no-brainer. So if it's within your budget, order one up today. You click the link below, you're getting $50 off every single product you order through them. To shift on to things that will help improve our resilience and function, check out the Bond Charge link. You're getting 15% off all their products through our link. And I believe I'm having a hard time seeing here. I believe it's just follow the prompts below. I'm pretty sure it's all there. But I attribute so much like shift in my health due to the infrared sauna blanket. Just detoxifying all the toxins and junk in our system. That's That blanket is amazing. If you want to enhance the detoxifying with metals and forever chemicals, consider the Masterpiece tincture. I'm going to order another one of those soon and do another cycle of that. Other than that, check out Black Eagle Apparel and support us through getting an Unmuzzled Chat t-shirt. Embody that. Share the podcast. People ask me about the shirt. I talk about the podcast, obviously. Get people on, and we can create that momentum we need together. But let's all rip those muzzles off. I'm beat. I'm sorry. I really stumbled through this one. I could do better, and I will do better. I'm grateful for this opportunity. As frustrated as I started, that's what's interesting. Even though I really didn't get into real scripture, I can feel a weight kind of lifted off, and it's like I walked out of the woods into the clearing, and it's just finally like nice ground to walk on or something. But I look forward to serving you better next time. Hope you are having a terrific day. God bless you. God bless this country. Until next time, take care.